Hi there, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make two different salads that you can put on a sandwich or eat with crackers. The first is going to be a tofu version of an egg salad, and then the second salad is going to be made with garbanzo beans or chickpeas, if you will. All right, so let's kind of go over the ingredients and the tools that you'll need for this video. You're going to need some type of vegan mayonnaise. I'm using a Target brand. You can use Veggies, you can use Best, I think it's called Hellman's Best Vegan Mayo, or whatever vegan mayonnaise you have on hand, you can use that. I'm using, like I said, the Target brand. I have sea salt and peppercorns. I have some garlic powder, onion powder, a half an onion, and a little bit of relish. All right, the other tools that you will need will be a cutting board, a spoon. This is like a potato masher, but we're going to use this to mash our tofu as well as mash our chickpeas. You're also going to need a knife. I've got my chef knife because if you've watched Knife Skills 101, you know that this is the best way to chop and dice an onion, and that's what we're going to be doing for our salad. So let's go ahead and get started with our chickpea salad. I just have a small amount, and this is just going to be for a serving of one. You can put it on a sandwich, or you can eat it with crackers or eat it by yourself. So I just drained the liquid from the chickpeas, which if you remember watching the pasta video, you saw that the liquid from the chickpeas is called aquafaba. You can use that for a lot of different uses. This is the chickpeas that we have left over from the aquafaba. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that into our bowl, put that container aside, and then we're going to use our masher and just kind of mash this up. If you want to use a food processor, you can. Either way, you just kind of want this to be mashed, not super fine, but you can still have particles of the chickpeas itself in there. But you kind of just want this to be kind of mashed up, basically. Not like mashed potatoes, but just mashed where even if you have some larger pieces, it's okay. This is a really good version of a Untuna. This is what we're making. We're making like a version of vegan tuna fish, which is Untuna, because there's no tuna in it. And yeah, it's going to be really good. It's a delicious recipe to make, and it's quick, fun, and easy. All right, so let's gather. I just mashed that just like that. Let me get my spoon and kind of break it up. You can use a fork if you want. If you don't have a potato smasher, you can use a fork. You can use a food processor. There are many tools that you can use. In your course, you're going to get all of the tools that you need and a downloadable version that you can print off. And it has all of the tools that are needed and ingredients that are needed for this video. All right, so I got that together. Let's go ahead and start cutting our onion. I'm going to quarter this onion because I'm not going to use the whole onion for this. This is a lot of onion and it's too much for this, so we're only going to need just a little section. So I'm actually just going to go less than a quarter. I just cut that in half, and then I'm going to remove the peel. Kind of have like an empty bowl or an empty container handy. That way you can take any skin or leftover pieces that you don't need. Instead of just leaving it on the countertop, it makes easy cleanup. All right, so remember your hand placement for every time you use your knives. My thumb is on the outside of the knife. My other 4 fingers are around the handle. Let's kind of move this out of the way so you guys can see a little bit better. And I make sure that I curl my fingers under because you always want your blade to be resting against your knuckles, not with your fingers out. And I'm just literally kind of slicing across. And then I'm going to turn the onion around and slice across the other way. We might not use all of this onion because this, even with this amount, it's still a lot for this amount of chickpeas. I'm making a small serving, but if you wanted to make a larger amount, You could use the whole can, or you could use 2 cans, depending on whether you want to make it for something for an advance. If you put this in the refrigerator, once you've made this with the mayo, you probably want to use this within 3 to 4 days. You don't want to go too long. So let's go ahead and add our onion to this. I'm going to save the rest of this onion for my tofu salad because I like onion, but I don't want like the whole thing full of onion, so we'll save the rest of that onion for my tofu salad. I'll put that over to the side. Bring my bowl closer. All right, let's go ahead and add, this is probably going to be about a half a tablespoon or about a tablespoon of vegan mayo. Put that directly in there. Kind of shake it off. Put the lid back on that. All right, so then I'm gonna do my peppercorns. Just do a couple of sprigs. When I'm doing culinary, I don't really measure out my ingredients as far as spices. Let's put it that way. I measure, but I do it like via my mind or what I think is kind of the right amount. And then you always need to taste your food to make sure that maybe you might not have enough. It's always better to do a little bit at a time than too much at once. Especially when it comes to salt, because you cannot unsalt your food. You can always add, but you can't take away. All right, so just do a couple of sprigs. One more. That's it. All right, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of my garlic powder. You can add celery, fresh celery, or you can add celery seeds to this. In the downloadable guide, there will be a lot of variations of how to actually make your Untuna tuna. And this is just made, like I said, with chickpeas. I wouldn't recommend using any other kind of bean because it really doesn't necessarily work. I mean, if you want to try black beans, that's fine, but it's not going to be like a tuna version. I mean, black beans are better used for if you're making like burgers. All right. So I added the onion and garlic, and I just did a little bit of onion powder just because we already have onion in there. And then I have a little bit of relish, sweet relish. I'll just sprinkle just a little bit of that in there, and then just kind of mix that up. And like I said, you can add celery seed, celery, fresh celery to it. And that's it. That's your Untuna chickpea salad. And like I said, you can use this on crackers. You can do toast and make a tuna melt with some vegan cheese. Oh my God, the possibilities are endless. I'm not really sure if I would necessarily make like tuna noodle casserole with this because you put mayonnaise in it, and tuna noodle casserole is actually cooked. So I'm not sure if I would want to make this with that, but this is a great salad. All right, so let's go ahead and do our tofu salad. And like I said, these are really quick. That took less than 5 minutes to make. All right, bring my tofu over. You can actually freeze your tofu and it gives it a thicker and meatier consistency. I didn't freeze it this time, but I'm actually going to freeze a portion of this because I'm going to use this other portion for another recipe, which will probably be in another video on my waffles and chicken. So you know how they have chicken and waffles? I'm going to do like a version of that, but it's actually made with tofu. And it's like super good. You like fry it up, it's got batter. Oh, I need to stop talking about that because I'm making my mouth water. All right, so let's go ahead and put this tofu piece in here. Like I said, I just quartered that. This is just for me, so I'm not making a huge serving. And then this, I'm going to use my handy dandy potato masher again. If you feel so inclined, get in and get messy, which means that you can use your fingers, and I'm going to do that. Tofu is actually a little bit, especially if you get the firm one, mashing it can kind of be a mess because you can almost turn your bowl over. So it's helpful to get your hands kind of messy a little bit. And I'm just breaking this up into smaller crumbles. You want it to be kind of, you don't want it to be fine, but you don't want to have like huge chunks in there. We're gonna add our onion. Make sure I'm getting all those big chunks. Kind of feel around through it. You can also do this to make scrambled tofu. That'll be in another video. And that's for breakfast, or brunch, or lunch, or even dinner. I like breakfast for lunch. I like breakfast for dinner. I like breakfast pretty much anytime. All right, so I've got it to small crumbles. That's what it should look like. All right, let me kind of wipe my hands off a little bit. Got my trusty towel next to me. All right, so go ahead and add the rest of that relish. We're gonna add the rest of the onions. You can add garlic as well. All right, so let's do a little garlic powder. If you wanted to have kind of like a yellow tinge to it, you would add turmeric. Turmeric is a spice. I think it's from India, but don't quote me on that. But it is actually, it's very good for your body as well. It helps you with like inflammation and all of that stuff. I won't get on that tangent, but it actually is a natural food coloring. So if you want it to look more yellow, your tofu salad to look more yellow, you would actually sprinkle some turmeric in there. All right, I'm gonna add some pepper. This pepper grinder is a little stiff. Kind of got to turn it kind of hard. Okay. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. Sometimes I'd rather use like garlic powder than necessarily with this garlic pieces. If you're a really good fan or you just love garlic that much, then I would use like fresh. But I prefer to have, like I don't really want to chew on a piece of garlic right now because we're not cooking this. So that's why I'm using garlic powder. Just 1 or 2 more sprigs of sea salt. Get your vegan mayo out again. Let me go ahead and clean this spoon off. Give me 1 second here. I didn't necessarily want to contaminate my mayo because I just use it to stir. I would advise having multiple spoons. I didn't bring a second one. Crazy me. But you can always wash your spoon out. All right, I add a little bit more mayo to your tofu salad because here's the thing, tofu actually soaks up a lot. So I would add a little bit more than what you added to your chickpea salad. All right, you're just gonna go ahead and stir that up. Oh my God, this looks so good. I need some crackers or some bread. Make a sandwich. Let's see, let me taste a little bit, make sure it has enough. Oh, that's awesome. That's very good. Okay, and that's your tofu salad. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this little mini video on salads, edible food salads that you can make within like 10 to 15 minutes. That literally took 10 minutes to make both of those, as long as you have all your ingredients. So you have your Untuna tuna, well, it's actually an Untuna chickpea salad, and then your eggless tofu salad. All right, guys, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.